I'm back from Brothers from Inglewood podcast. Once again, coming to you live and direct. And it's good to be back in the studio. I'm Hoopie. This is Charley Mack, my co-host. And we're excited about the topic that we're going to discuss today. But before I do, I'm going to throw it over to Charley Mack and let him holler at you.
Yo, we back in the building, y'all, once again. We here to give it to you guys uncut, raw, and you know how we do it, the way we do it. But the way we do it is the way we do it. We keep it 100 here. But before we start keeping it 100 and before we do it, we don't own the rights to this music, you dig? But we still gonna groove to it, ain't that right, Ken?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all day long. So sit back, guys. Strap them seatbelts on like how we do it. Get ready to. We're gonna get this car moving.
Well said, bro. Well said. Again, it's good to be back in the studio to chop it up, and interesting topic, which I think is going to really shed some light on why we do certain things and how we do it.
Yes, sir.
And we're just going to jump right into it and see how that works. Spender or saver?
That's what it is. Either you're a spender or you're a saver. That's what we're going to talk about today.
Right. So I'd like to get a stab at it.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, you get it cracking first, man.
When you're talking about spending money, and we're talking about finances, and everybody's understanding of finances are different.
Right.
I know I did not really understand the value of a dollar till late in life.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about well into adulthood.
Yeah.
Did I not understand
the value of a buck.
Yeah.
Right.
And respect it.
Oh, yeah.
And we were all, as brothers growing up, we were all taught how to save, what to do.
Well, we probably wasn't taught it, but our mother sure told us to save a buck.
Well, yeah. I mean, especially not in the way that we've learned it now.
Right.
But you know how your parents, somebody gave you $1, and she was like, "No, you gonna save 50 cents of it," and But even with that, it wasn't enough for me later on into my teens and adult life to learn how to manage money.
Right.
So I was more of a spender. I was frivolous, careless. Like Mom, she'll even say, even as of late, you wasteful.
It sounds like what you're wasteful.
You're wasteful, and you know how she is about finances. She's really good with it, and then I started paying more attention to it, especially when I got out of this singleness. As a single adult, man, I think I was spending mine as fast as I could get it.
Yeah.
And so I'm classified as a spender.
Okay. When I thought about this topic, it's like you. Earlier on, I was a spender, and I used to spend. I'm talking about really, really spend.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really understand the importance of holding on to a couple of dollars until you didn't have it.
Okay.
So, but when I was spending, I had to spend. Like Lil Wayne said, it ain't tricking if you got it. It ain't tricking if you got it. So if you want to go to the strip joint and go blow 2 or 3 bands, it ain't tricking if you got it. And if you really think about it, it's the truth. If you got it,
yeah, they can afford it. Yeah.
So, but anyway, in my earlier young adolescence, I spent. I spent it as quick as it came in my hand, just like you. We both were 2 guys back in the day who had a lot of money come through our hands, and we spent a lot of money.
Yeah,
we really did. I think a lot of us spent an awful lot of money during those 80s. But let's fast forward to this point now. When you stop making that fast money, you better turn into a saver. Because if you don't, you have to get out of that mentality and out of that lifestyle of the lifestyle that you were in when you were just blowing money because it was coming so fast.
Yeah.
So when you lose all that money and you have to start over as just like a regular person now, and you have to go out and get a job and whatever it is that you may do to work hard for your money, you start to really value a dollar. You know, so I'm now in my life, I'm a saver.
You're more disciplined.
You have to be disciplined. You know? And then later on in the segment, I'll speak on why saving is important and how it can help you.
Okay.
As a
Yeah.
saver.
As you said, I'm piggybacking off of that. I just, I spent money on what I liked. The money came fast, and the money, I won't say it was easy. You know how a lot of people always say, yeah, that was easy money. No. No, it wasn't easy money.
Yeah.
It came fast.
Yeah.
But
you're right, it wasn't easy.
It wasn't easy.
Yeah,
I mean, you
they
putting
think
your,
it's easy.
Yeah, you putting your life on the line. You putting your life on the line, and I think that being in that normalcy, we were in a fast life. We chose to participate in a dark area of life.
Yeah.
And the money came really fast.
Wasn't easy though.
Oh, no. It wasn't easy by far. And so I started taking it for granted that, okay, if I spend $10,000 a day, I'm going to get that back probably at the end of the day. Man, or the next day.
Isn't that crazy how we
or
think
at the end
that
of the
way?
week. You know what I mean?
It's so funny you say you're right.
Yeah. That game was full of losses as well. So you think ahead and you say, well, you do your averages and you like, I took a beating, but I'm gonna come back. I might have to spike my prices up.
You
but
took a beating.
Yeah, you took a beating out there, man. And so when that situation dissolved, when it was over, bro, I was almost stuck. I was lost in this maze of, not being able to buy things that I liked as freely as I once did. So it really messed up my value of $1 even more. And I say that because I felt like, $100 or $300 that ain't no money. I might as well get me something to eat with it. And I was a terrible spender, man. And yeah.
You know what's so funny? I'm gonna tell you something. There's a lot of people that's listening, and some of them may be in a position of being a spender.
Yeah.
And only because they don't know how to save. And I'm gonna tell you a perfect reason why I'm saying that, and I'm gonna give you an example. A couple of years ago, I'm doing a job and I'm making, real good money, more than 6 figures. And I'm saying to myself, like, well, damn, you broke. You ain't got, why is it you look up
you don't have nothing
and you don't have no money? Save. I'll tell you something, dude. I didn't really start learning how to save until a couple of years ago. Until I started saying, wait a minute. I'm making too much money to not have a savings. Yeah. It just didn't make sense to me. Right. I'm out here working my butt off, and I'm making good money, and I don't have nothing to show for it. So I literally had to go to my bank and talk to one of the bankers there and say, listen, how can I start accumulating? How can I start? You know what I had to do?
What?
I had to open up a separate account, and every time I get paid, money would come straight out of my direct deposit into my savings. But see, this is why it's hard, I think, for some people to save. I can't speak for everybody. Mm-hmm. Some people, it's hard to save. When you get that paycheck in your checking account, it's hard for you to go into your banking account, grab $300-400. I was okay, I'm gonna take this out and save it. But when it comes out automatically, you never see it.
Right.
You never see it. So then you look up at the end of the year, you're like,
it's there. It's there.
I got 8. Oh, okay, I saved 16 grand.
I got you.
Oh, and that's how, once it comes out of your direct deposit into that other account, forget about it.
I got you.
Act like you never had it.
Yeah.
And that's how I start to save.
Wow.
That's how I started to save, because it was hard for me to go into my account and say, let me grab 300 and go save it or put it. It's just hard to do that, man. When you touch it, it goes right in your hand, in your pocket, and at the mall somewhere.
See, and that, I stopped carrying cash.
Oh yeah, I don't really carry cash either.
That helped me because, being a barber for all those years.
Yeah, it's all cash business.
Cash carry.
Yeah.
It was almost like, it was, to me, I don't mean to sound facetious or definitely unappreciative, but it was like being in the streets.
Yeah.
Because you were getting cash on
cash.
hand.
Yeah.
You had to do all your own accounting.
It's like selling rocks. It's like curb serving.
I never did that. But no,
like
you're right.
serving.
It was street life,
Yeah.
and I'm back in this mindset. Cash on hand, cash and carry. And I became very just irresponsible with it.
Yep.
Now I look up, I done worked all week, made good money all week.
Good money.
And my rent is due.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how am I short of my rent?
Yeah.
And I got 3 days to pay my rent, and I'm like 300 short or something. Or 4. I'm like, who does that?
Yeah.
But then I backtrack, and I'm like, oh, that's what you did. You spent 125 on food there. You spent 90 on food. Oh, you saw some little painting. You bought 50. And then you look up, and it's like it's all because you taking your earnings and you putting them in your pocket.
You mismanaging your money.
Yeah, you're not putting it in the bank.
You mismanaging.
You're not putting it up. You're carrying it around with you. And I had a terrible pattern. I didn't have any structure. And then I looked up and I was really tapped out.
Yeah.
I didn't have.
Yeah.
I was working, but I didn't have anything to show for.
Man, look.
Everything was billed.
Look, man, I know people that make high 6 figures, and at the end of the year, if you go ask them like, oh man, can you go put your hands on $5,000 cash? They can't do it.
Can't do it.
They can't
Credit card.
They can't do it. Not
No
cash.
cash.
No, they can't do it. And it's not that they don't make the money. It's just mismanaging the money.
Got you.
And if you don't manage it,
That was my issue.
Listen, you can make $2,000 a month and still be able to say, well, look, I got out of this $2,000 a month. Let me take $200 of it a month and just kind of put it away or whatever. And you have to be able to save. And if you don't learn how to manage your money, you'll look up and you'll be like, well, damn, I live in this nice big house and I drive a nice car and I got nice jewelry and
money.
But I ain't got no savings.
Right.
I mean, you have to, there's the average, you take, 10 families and, out of those 10 families that's married, maybe 2 of those families can go put their hands on maybe $10,000 cash.
Yeah, that's
the
true.
rest of them, I know people that live in great neighborhoods, the Black Beverly Hills, and they struggling.
Yeah.
And it's about managing your money. You have to be able to manage your money.
You're right. Another thing, before I even get to my savings part and my little technique.
I use my technique.
The crazy thing is, bro, I was so irresponsible with my money. I would see things just at random, just on the fly. And I was like, man, that's nice. Oh, that's our last one. Man, he go 500 on the deposit. Just,
hold it for me.
Just hold it for me. And I was like, well, when you coming back? And I was like, I'll be back tomorrow or Saturday, right? So I never go back.
I know your MO.
Out of town, just never go back. And it's like you thinking to yourself, man, I got a couple of deposits out here. But then time elapsed. Now you like, man, forget that deposit.
I know.
And that's when I realized, I said, this is bad. This is terrible because obviously I didn't respect money. I didn't respect the dollar. I knew how to make it. I knew how to earn it. And then I had an attitude like, a loss is a loss.
Yeah, see, that's that attitude from being out there in the game. A loss is a loss. I mean, we all took them L's.
Right.
But when you get all the way down to that curb and you can't go touch it, I guarantee you, you're going to start respecting the dollar after that.
Right. So my form of method of saving is similar to what you explained from the banker as to your direct deposit going into a certain account. And then you understand that you know what your bills are. I stay conscious of what my bills are
and how much they are. And that way I already know I only have access to this.
If today I exhausted $25, then tomorrow I'm gonna have to make me something to eat, or whatever. So I learned that you gotta have an emergency account.
Oh, I already know.
That and my children really helped me develop that, because kids always need something, even if it's something small like, Dad, I need another notebook. My notebook is whatever, or Dad, I left my jacket at school and I went back to get it and it was stolen. So I knew, I said, you know what? Worst come to worst, I want to be able to put my hands on a certain amount of money for emergency.
You gotta have emergency.
And
money.
I learned that about 3 years ago.
See?
From some economic person who just random Ubering, and they were like, look, I don't care if it's $1,000.
Yeah.
You should have an emergency fund.
Yeah.
You don't touch this money. Is off limits.
Yeah.
This is only for emergency. And when you have that emergency, you make sure you
put
give
it back.
yourself a certain amount of days to put it back. You put it back.
Yeah. I don't care if you only saving, $20 a paycheck.
Yeah.
But you gotta save something.
Mom used to really.
No, she's a saver.
On my head about
Always
that.
been a saver.
She said, I don't care. I said, I got bills. What are you talking about? I owe these people.
Yeah.
Don't pay them. She said, well, look, don't pay them all. If your bill is $90, and
I'm gonna put something on it.
You all you got is $100.
I'm gonna put something.
Don't give them the whole $100.
I'm gonna put something on it. Yeah.
And for a long time I was like, that don't make sense.
Yeah,
it makes sense because, like in business 101, you pay yourself first.
Yep.
No matter what you make, pay
yourself a salary.
Pay yourself first.
Yep.
And so I'm looking at it like this too. Who wants to be a grown-up, an adult, and you are at the mercy of a system, whether it's retirement, from your Social Security, bro. I'm not knocking anybody who's on it.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying, I don't want that to be my only income stream.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you another thing I did too, and I had to start taking a look at myself, and a lot of people that's listening, this may go for them as well, because I know there's a lot of people that's out there that's like this, especially women. Mm-hmm. What I stopped doing, or what I started to do, maybe about maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I don't spend money on anything that I want. I spend money on things that I need. See, when people start to realize, I don't need this, I just want this. You gotta go with the need and not the want.
So that was like as you say that, you know what pops into my head?
What?
How the hustlers in the street would always say, separate your wants from your needs.
You have to.
If you're going to have some dollars,
you have to.
You better learn how to separate your wants from your needs.
You have to, because, listen, everybody out there that's listening.
Wow.
Everybody.
That's profound.
Listen, I don't care. Everybody out there listening, the men and the women, I want you guys to hear this. It's not a man viewer out there that's listening that need another pair of shoes. It's not a woman viewer that's listening that need another pair of shoes. You don't need another pair of jeans. You don't need another purse. You don't need another skirt. They don't need it. You don't need another pair of shoes.
I do, bro.
You want another pair of shoes. No. You want another pair of shoes. Think about it.
You're right.
You're right. Think about this. When we were,
right.
and I don't know if this goes for you, and I don't think Mom knew this. I don't think you even knew this. But when we were younger, Mom used to get us, we would get a pair of sneakers for Christmas and a pair of dress shoes for church.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't get another pair of shoes until it's our birthday.
Yeah.
I would wear my sneakers so much, they would have a hole in the bottom.
I would put that cardboard.
Oh, you hip to the game. Okay. So my thing now is, I got so many pair of shoes at home, man.
Yeah.
To where I got shoes and boxes in my garage. I just gave away 10 pair of boxes of shoes. I still got shoes in my garage, and I got shoes up in my attic, and I got shoes up in my closet.
Wow.
I don't need another pair of
I
shoes,
don't have
man.
that many. Not no more anymore.
And listen, when I do go out and buy clothes or things that I may need or want, I take everything that I have and I give it away. I'm not gonna hoard all these all these things that you're never gonna wear.
Yeah, you've always done that.
Yeah. So people out there that's listening and viewing, if you got all these extra material things and you want more, go give it away.
Yeah.
Give it to somebody who you know needs it. Then it allows you to say, okay, now I can go get me 2 more pair of shoes or a couple more pairs.
And you know what else?
Give it away.
And you know what else? It's a principle. Not that people are conscious of it, but it's a principle. The more you give, the more comes back to you.
Yeah.
And that's a biblical principle that it works. It has always worked.
It's like paying it forward.
Right.
You know, you're going to get it back, especially when you pay it forward from the heart.
Yeah. You're seeding into someone's life, and that becomes a harvest.
I know.
At a later time, you know.
Yeah, but you got some selfish people out there. We're gonna make that a topic too one of these days. But,
definitely.
You got a lot of people who they got so much stuff and material things
they hoard
where they not only do they hoard it because they don't want to give it away.
Yeah.
They don't want to give it away.
They don't want to see you.
They don't want to see you with it. Yeah. And like I said, man, I don't things that I buy now are things that I actually need. And don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect. There may be a few things here and there that I may go buy that I really don't need, but I buy anyway. But for the most part, I don't spend money like I used to.
I got you.
Like I would leave the house every single day with nothing to do, head straight to one of the little stores, maybe Marshalls, love Marshalls over all the other ones, over Ross and over the TJ Maxx, love Marshalls. Yeah. And I would go in there and I would just find something to spend money on. Didn't need it, man.
Wow.
Did not need it. So not only did I go to Marshalls and spend money on something that I didn't need, I had to spend money for gas to go down there. And I had to go spend money for food because I'm out eating. Now, dude, I'm at home every day. When I leave work, I'm at home.
Yeah, because when you in the streets,
you're gonna spend.
You're gonna spend money.
Yeah.
You know, and it was crazy because I used to put money aside because I already knew what I was looking at, but I also knew how much I wanted to spend. Yeah. Right? I had a limit. So every day I go pick up my kids from school. Or at least 4 days to 5 days out of the week.
Right.
I go pick them up. You know how kids are.
Daddy, can we stop here?
Right. They not always famished, but they figure Dad got it.
They want. They don't need it, but they want.
Right. Dad got it.
Yeah.
Dad, can we go to,
Chuck E. Cheese,
Raising Cajun, So I'm looking up and I'm like, man, Chick-fil-A is big.
Yes. Especially for a family.
Man, Chick-fil-A is like a restaurant.
Yeah, you better have 100.
Man, I was like,
Look, you and the 3 kids, you need a big face.
Hey, sometimes I didn't eat, bro. I was like, I'm not about to drop 60.
Yeah.
But, at the end of the day, hey, get whatever y'all want. And some days I was like, and I didn't do it because I didn't have it, but I felt like this is too much. I just spent $35 yesterday. Now I got to spend another $50 today, and then after a while I said, you know what? Y'all getting fruit. Yeah, they'll tell you. It's like, I already know that.
Fruit.
Yeah.
Kids like, I don't know damn fruit.
I would go to Ralph's or Pavilions or something. Yeah, before they got out of school.
Get your fruit game up.
Get my fruit game up. Wow. Nice and cold. I was like, they may not want to get to it. I said, but when they feel it's all cold and nice, man.
When that stomach get the growl, they're going in and get it.
And I'd let them, y'all got fruit.
Wow.
So I realized that at the end of the day, they were going to eat. Later on, their mom was going to fix them something or they would fix themselves something. And I just started saying, that's a lot of bread. Because you start looking up and you're just saying, okay, this is what you're spending on the kids after school just to eat. And then you picking them up, between $2.40 and $3.15, they eat around 3:45, they right back hungry
Yeah.
at 5:45, 6.
Oh yeah, kids.
They ready for dinner.
Oh, they eat you out of house and home.
So I said to myself, no, this is what we're going to do.
Oh yeah, I got a daughter at home and she gonna eat everything that ain't tied down. I'm telling you, man, that little girl.
Is it out of boredom? Probably out of boredom too. You know, she just in her room, studying, watching, TV, studying. So it's out of boredom. I eat out of boredom.
Y'all need, y'all need to get these damn schools back over. Get these kids back in school, cause man, I'm telling you, these kids, man, I'm telling you, I'll be like, man,
no, they
will eat, and then
out
of house and home.
I got them teenage boys, and their mom would constantly talk about how much they eat.
They eat. Man.
Micah 6'3", 228.
They eat.
That little boy, he 5'9", 180.
They eat.
Yeah, so I mean,
they can eat.
So the saving part is how I learned that I don't have to spend it all.
Hey, look, man. Not only that, you don't ever know when there's gonna be an emergency,
right?
That comes up,
right?
And you gotta have something.
Exactly.
You gotta have something. You gotta be able to go touch something. Especially as grown adults.
Oh man.
Grown adults out there, we need to be able to go touch something. I don't care if it's like you said. I don't care if it's $1,000.
You gotta touch it.
You gotta be able to go touch something.
Yeah.
And I know for some of you big ballers out there, and y'all, the ones out there making them high 6-figure jobs. I know $1,000 saved ain't nothing to y'all, but
but you gotta
be able to touch something
until they look up and it's like, well, no savings. You're gonna have to hawk off one of them Rolexes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to. At some point, we all hit the wall and say, you know what? I gotta cut this out because I've been on the road, traveling, ministering. I've been in hotels listening to those couples. Like, well, what do you mean, honey? I'm like, it's not enough on this card.
Yeah.
The other one.
Oh yeah.
Like, well, remember we talked about we're not gonna start with that one because we're still trying to pay. So you can hear the conversations as it relates to somebody understands overspending.
Yeah. But you got two people in a household. The households that do.
You should live off of one income.
Between that woman and that husband, you guys should be able to save $2,000 a month. That's easy.
Yeah.
Between two people, you guys should be able to save $2,000 a month. You look up at the end of the year, y'all got 24 racks.
Man, I talk with
in 1 year.
Right.
So let's say you save for 3 years. You guys got almost $100,000. You guys got $75,000 saved just by saving $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month between the two of you.
Man,
that's easy.
No, you're right.
That's really easy.
You're right. I talked to a financial consultant, good friend, been knowing him for a long time, and I talked to him after I had a consultation with Smith Barney. Right?
Okay.
I don't even know why I'm in Smith Barney.
We was there.
Well, yeah, that was with Ralph.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, he gave us some valuable information too.
Right.
So I'm getting this information from this other source, and the bottom line to me, well, after they explained it, was this. It was like, well, first of all, if you're in a relationship, especially a marriage, you should be able to live off of one income. And I was like, well, what do you mean? Well, if you guys understand what your overhead is, what your needs are, like you said earlier, and the things that are priority, then that should mean you guys should be saving.
You're right.
Almost half.
You're right.
Just as a couple.
No, you're right.
Half of your money
you're right.
should be saved.
You're right.
And I was like, what are you talking about? Well, if your bills is only a certain amount and both of you guys are working, and if the other person, you was already paying your stuff without the other person, why can't you live off of one income?
Yeah.
It's frivolous spending.
Yeah.
It's neglecting what those responsibilities are, meaning you neglecting the needs to prioritize your wants.
Man, listen, $200 a week times 5 is $1,000 a month.
Mm.
Even on the short months when there's only 4
Weeks.
pay periods, 4 weeks in a month, that's $800. That's one person only saving $200. you got two people now. You put your $200 up a week. I put my $200 up a week. Now we saving $400 a week.
Right.
Times 5 sometimes in a month. That's $2,000.
Right.
I'm telling you, it's easy, man.
It is.
And two people need to, but what I'm telling you, there's a lot of people, they make fantastic money, but they just don't know how to organize their money and save their money. I was one of them.
See, I was the same way
I'm
because,
like, damn,
you know,
I got no money.
You know another reason why I used to be really tapped? I would pay my bills pretty much not as they came, all at once, seemed like. Because I didn't have a management schedule as I related to half the bills are coming on the 1st. The other half usually comes at around the 15th. Or you know, it's like you got a 2-week window, right? Bro, I look up, man, and it seemed like everything's due at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's because it was poor management as it related to how my billing cycles were.
Yeah.
And then me creating new bills and not understanding that those bills should be organized in a cycle as well. So now it's like everything is like, man, all at once. So it was like, okay, if I only make $2,000 or $3,000, but my monthly is $3,001, I ain't got it.
Yeah. But let me tell you what good money management is, and I don't want to say good money management, but just smart money management. Okay, I just bought a new car. So I said to myself, okay, if I get this new car, and let's say I want my note to be $300 a month. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's $300 a month. I'm not going to bring on an extra bill so now that's an extra bill with my other bills. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bills that I have and pay off all the bills that comes out to the $300 a month that I would have been paying.
I got you.
So now I haven't lost a beat.
Because you
I took care of
you took care of the debt. Now
I took on more debt, but
not really. Maybe of a longer commitment.
Right. But what I'm saying is I don't have an extra $300 on top of my already existing bills what I had.
You didn't overwhelm your budget.
No, exactly. My budget's still the same.
You didn't overwhelm.
It hasn't changed.
I got you.
And that's how you have to think. You have to, and you just have to be smart about managing your money. Like I said, there's a lot of people out there listening that make good money, but it's about managing it. Yeah, that's all.
That was something that it was very difficult for me, man. I didn't know how to do it.
I'm telling you,
I had money on hand, and you know, if my kids needed something, I was like, hey, okay. Hey. Not thinking like, okay, that money is coming out of your budget. How are you going to replace that money because it's outside of your budget?
Listen, like Mom always saying, she says it to this day. She'll give you something, say, don't take this money and go throw it up in the air.
Yeah.
You know, because she understands, let me save a couple of dollars. Yeah. And she probably would have a whole lot more than she got now if it wasn't for me and you and everybody else who she just give her money to.
Yeah.
And I had to tell her about maybe a year or two ago, I said, hey, man, you better keep your money. Yeah. You better hold on to your money, and you better keep your money. Yeah. And quit giving away your money.
Yeah. Because
I'm telling you.
I don't be on her.
Yeah.
I'll never, do anyway, but still, I'm a grown man. You know what I mean? But the crazy thing is, man, you're right. Without money management, you are climbing
in bad shape.
You're climbing a steep hill.
Yeah.
And I had to learn that because then I started thinking to myself, okay, because I don't have a car note anymore. I was like, woo!
If you had one, huh?
Man.
Yeah.
And so I'm learning that put away a couple of dollars.
You have to.
It'll add up.
You have to.
And so now I have these strategic goals as to where I want to be in the next quarter, where I want to be at the end of the year, and actually what I'm going to do with some of that savings.
Yeah.
It's not like, okay, now you saved it all, just go deplete it. No, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to develop a rhythm to where I'll always have emergency money.
Gotta have it, man.
You
gotta have a little emergency money, because things pop up all the time. And this is another thing too, and people may be able to relate to it and they may not to. And I always tell people this, and people don't think that people think I'm crazy when I tell them this, but when I break it down, they're going to understand what I'm saying. The way that the world and the system is set up, it's not set up for the middle class and the little upper middle class to really be able to make it. And I'm going to tell you why. And I'm only speaking on the middle class and like maybe the upper middle class. It seemed like the minute you get a good little flow going and you got some good money saved and you're like, oh man, I got, 8,000-10,000 sitting over here, whatever. Bam! Something happened. You got to give up your whole savings and you right back at square one. You right back at square one. And then you do it again. And you get that savings back up there and bam, something else. You right back at square one. It's almost seemed like it's not meant for the middle class to just kind of get over that hump.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
I think
it doesn't affect. Okay, perfect example. Another thing, too, then I'm going to give the mic to you. When this gas jumps up to $4 a gallon or whatever, that don't hurt the rich. It hurts us as middle class.
Yeah.
It don't hurt somebody that can go to the pumps and spend $100 every time they go because they got hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't affect them. Everything that happens in the world and in the economy, it always affects the middle class and the upper middle class. It doesn't affect anybody else. The poor is already poor. So it ain't going to affect them. It affects the ones that we think we got a little bit until that storm hit. And you're like, damn.
But see,
thought I was ahead of the game.
Yeah, but see, the economics of it all has us all characterized anyway. It's all based on your salaries, what you're pulling in every year, and they put you in this area of financial stability or whatever. But at the end of the day, the wealthy, they don't always just have per se money problems, but they got some stuff they got to spend too. It's just at certain levels. Of course, $100 on their gas may not affect them like it would do you and I. But I think it goes back to, like you said earlier, and like Mom say, having something.
Yeah.
You just gotta have something, because even with them, emergencies happen.
Yeah, but if that emergency happen, they gotta go blow $5 or $6 grand on something. They got it. If we gotta go blow $5 grand on something, it wipes our savings out.
But it's never gonna be equal.
But what I'm saying is, I wasn't saying that it was equal. I was saying that it seems like the middle class is the one that always gets the short end of the stick. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
it's almost like we can't,
I don't even think it is a middle.
Well, no, it's not. But it used to be a middle class. The middle class used to flourish.
Yeah.
Now, either you're rich or you're poor.
Yeah.
Middle class is considered poor, and it doesn't mean that we're destitute, but it just means that that you're struggling. Yeah. But it always affects that middle ground. Never anybody else. It's always right in the middle is the ones who get affected.
Well, I think also the people that are on the bottom take the hardest blow, because it's like, man, we used to be at eye level. Now we back even further because they didn't jack the prices up, and just when we was getting there, now they just switch reels on. So I just think that you're right. It's systemic. It's by design as to how economics work. But I think it's up to us to educate ourselves and hold on to it or save it. And then a lot of people, they got advances because they knew how to invest their money. Somebody showed them how to grow their money.
Yeah.
Whereas the average guy, especially people who have come out of that era where the banks folded on them, man, some of those people still don't trust banks. So it's like now you might be saving, but it's not growing as fast because somebody learned how to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To how to invest. But I agree. I mean, it's like, the economy is tough, But again, man, great topic. I hope that we can come back to this because it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot to be talked about, considering the pandemic and some of the other classifications that we have fallen under because of the economic situation. So I just appreciate the Coalesce group Of course, Fruit Off the Vine, clothing apparel, for allowing us to attach our name to your brand. Thank you for your sponsorship. And for all of you that are viewing and following along, we ask that you would like, subscribe, and share. Hopefully this content is beneficial to you, and you're enjoying it as we go along. I'm going to turn it over to Charlie Mack. Let him close us out.
Thank you guys for once again letting us share our little opinions and discuss these topics with you guys. Going forward, we're gonna have some. We're gonna start bringing on some guests here in the studio, and we're gonna mix this thing up a little bit and get it a little bit more interesting. So you guys keep on viewing and keep on watching. And you never know, you may look up and see yourself here in the studio. So peace and love. Take those seatbelts off, guys. The car to stop. We out of here.
Peace.